5 powerful signs that God is about to bless your life. Have you ever had that feeling deep inside you like something big is about to happen but you're just not sure when or how? Maybe you're in the middle of a season where things feel uncertain, or perhaps you've been praying for a breakthrough that seems like it's just out of reach. It's easy to get caught up in doubt when we don't see immediate results. But let me remind you of something important. God is at work, and He's preparing something extraordinary for you. It might not always look like what we expect, and His timing often doesn't line up with ours. But that doesn't mean He's not moving. In fact, there are signs, clear signs, that God is about to bless you. These signs aren't always loud or obvious, but they're there, and they're meant to give you the confidence to keep going, even when the road feels long. Whether you're facing challenges, waiting for promises to be fulfilled, or stepping out of your comfort zone, these signs are part of God's process. They're not just random moments, they're steps in a journey that God is guiding you through. And if you're paying attention, you'll start to recognize them as markers of a new season, one filled with blessings and breakthroughs. So if you're ready to discover these signs and unlock the blessings God has prepared for you, keep watching. By the end of this, you'll have a fresh perspective and renewed faith, knowing that your breakthrough is closer than you think. Sign 1. Endurance through testing and trials. One of the first signs that God is about to bless you is the endurance you're showing through testing and trials. I know it might sound confusing at first. How can enduring hardship possibly be a sign of something good coming? But trust me on this. God doesn't allow us to go through struggles just to make us suffer. There is a purpose behind every trial, and that purpose is always to prepare us for the blessings He has in store. Think about the times when you faced challenges, moments when everything seemed to be falling apart. It might have felt like the weight of the world was on your shoulders, and maybe you were even ready to give up. Those are the times when God's strength is most evident. Those moments are not wasted. They're opportunities for growth, and they're building something powerful in you that can only come from enduring hardship. When you go through tough times and don't give up, you are developing endurance, and God is using that endurance to prepare you for something far greater than you can imagine. In 1 Peter 1:6-7 it says, "In all this you greatly rejoice, though now for a little while you may have had to suffer grief in all kinds of trials. These have come so that the proven genuineness of your faith, of greater worth than gold, which perishes even though refined by fire, may result in praise, glory, and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed." The trials you're going through aren't just random, and they're not meant to break you. They're meant to refine you, to purify your faith like gold in fire. And let me tell you, there is a reward waiting for you when you come through those trials, stronger, with a faith that is deeper and more resilient than before. Endurance isn't easy. It's not something that happens overnight. But when you push through, even when things are tough, God is refining you. He's shaping you into the person He needs you to be in order to receive the blessings He's prepared. Your endurance through testing is not just an indication of how strong you are. It's a sign that God is getting you ready for something big. Keep going, keep trusting, and know that your breakthrough is on the horizon. Sign 2. Patience through waiting. Another sign that God is about to bless you is the patience you're learning to cultivate through waiting. Waiting is something we often dread, isn't it? It feels like time is standing still when we're waiting for something we desperately want, whether it's a breakthrough, a change in our circumstances, or the fulfillment of a promise. But here's the thing, waiting is never wasted time when God is involved. In fact, it's in those moments of waiting that He does some of His deepest work in us. When you're in a season of waiting, it can feel like nothing is happening. You may pray, hope, and long for change, but all you see is more of the same. That can be incredibly frustrating, but remember, God's timing is perfect, even if we don't understand it. Romans 4:20-21 gives us an incredible example of patience through waiting with the story of Abraham. He waited for years for the fulfillment of God's promise, and even when it seemed impossible, he did not waver in his faith. He was fully persuaded that God had the power to do what He had promised. Waiting teaches us to trust God's timing, not our own. It builds our faith and teaches us that God's promises will be fulfilled. But in His way and in His time, we live in a world where we want everything fast. Instant gratification is the norm. But God isn't in a rush. He knows exactly what we need, and He's preparing us for what's to come. Sometimes, waiting is part of the preparation process. It allows us to grow, to mature, and to strengthen our character, so we're ready to handle the blessing He's about to pour out. When you're in a season of waiting, it's easy to feel like nothing is happening. But don't lose heart. Trust that God is working behind the scenes, even if you can't see it yet. Patience in waiting doesn't mean sitting idly by, but rather trusting in God's faithfulness, while continuing to do the things He has called you to do. Like Abraham, keep believing, keep trusting, keep waiting with hope and confidence that God's promises will not fail. Your waiting is not in vain. It's part of the process, and the blessing will come when the time is right. Sign 3. Humbling yourself. One of the clearest signs that God is about to bless you is when you begin to humble yourself before Him. Now, I know that humility isn't always something we naturally gravitate towards. In a world that often praises self-promotion and pride, humility can feel like a foreign concept. But let me tell you, when you humble yourself before God, He will lift you up in ways that go far beyond what you could ever do on your own. Humility is not about thinking less of yourself, but about thinking of yourself less. It's about putting aside pride, letting go of the need for control, and recognizing that everything you have and everything you are comes from God. James 4:6 tells us, God opposes the proud but shows favor to the humble. This is a powerful truth. When we humble ourselves, we open the door for God's favor to flow into our lives. But when we choose pride, we're closing ourselves off to the blessings He wants to give us. Humility is something that God values deeply. It's not just about external actions, but about the posture of our hearts. When we humble ourselves, we're saying, God, I trust You more than I trust my own strength. I recognize that You are the source of everything, and I submit to Your will. Jesus Himself is the ultimate example of humility. He, the Son of God, humbled Himself by coming to earth, living as a servant, and ultimately giving His life on the cross for us. If anyone had the right to boast, it was Him, yet He chose the path of humility. And through that, He brought salvation to the world. You may be in a season where God is calling you to humble yourself. Maybe it's letting go of your own plans and trusting His. Or maybe it's serving others in ways that feel uncomfortable. It could even be admitting that you don't have all the answers and that you need God's guidance. Whatever it looks like, know this: humbling yourself before God is a sign that He's about to do something amazing in your life. It prepares you to receive the blessings He has in store, because God blesses the humble. So if you're feeling the pull to lower yourself in humility, embrace the blessings you're about to receive are far greater than anything pride could ever bring. Sign 4. Transformation and purification. Another powerful sign that God is about to bless you is the transformation and purification you are experiencing. It might feel like you're going through a process that's uncomfortable, even painful at times. But I want you to understand that this transformation is God's way of preparing you for something greater. When God is about to bless you, He often leads you through a season of personal change, both inside and out, so you can fully step into the new season He has for you. This transformation often involves letting go of old habits, mindsets, and even relationships that no longer serve you or align with God's will for your life. Sometimes it means stepping away from things that have held you back, even if they were once a source of comfort or security. It's not easy, but it's necessary. Just like gold is refined by fire, God purifies and refines us through the trials and challenges we face. It's in these moments of change that God is shaping us into the people He's calling us to be, removing the impurities and helping us grow in ways we never imagined. You might find yourself outgrowing old patterns of behavior, unhealthy relationships, or even old ways of thinking. This can be unsettling, but remember, this is a sign of growth. God is helping you shed the things that can't go with you to the next level. He's purifying you so that you can carry His blessings with integrity and strength. In 2 Corinthians 5:17 it says, "Therefore if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone, the new is here." This is the beauty of transformation in Christ. When you surrender to God, He makes you a new creation, and the old things no longer have the power they once had over your life. The process of purification isn't always easy, but it's a necessary step in your journey. God's blessings are not just about giving you more, they're about making you ready to handle the blessings He has prepared for you. And that requires a deep transformation within. So if you're in the midst of change right now, don't fight it. Embrace it. Trust that God is purifying you, refining your character, and preparing you to step into the abundant life He has in store. This process might feel uncomfortable, but it's leading you to something far greater than you can imagine. Sign 5. Stepping out of your comfort zone. The final sign that God is about to bless you is the prompting to step out of your comfort zone. It's that feeling deep down that tells you it's time to take a step of faith, to move into unfamiliar territory, even if it feels scary or uncertain. Stepping out of your comfort zone is often one of the hardest things to do, but it's also one of the most powerful. This is where growth happens. This is where God stretches us and leads us into new opportunities and blessings. When God is about to bless you, He often asks you to do things that are beyond your natural abilities. He calls you to places and situations where you have no choice but to trust Him fully. Maybe it's a new job, a new relationship, a new ministry, or even a new location. Something that pushes you past your limits and forces you to rely on His guidance. The discomfort you feel in these moments is a sign that you're stepping into something greater. It's the place where faith meets action, where your obedience to God opens the door to His blessings. Think about the story of Abraham. God called him to leave everything he knew, the familiar, the comfortable, and go to a place He would show him. Abraham didn't know where he was going or how everything would unfold, but he trusted God. That step of faith changed his life, and it changed the world. Similarly, God might be calling you to step out in faith, to move beyond the safety of what you know and into the unknown. It's in that unknown space where God does His best work, because that's where you learn to trust Him fully. Stepping out of your comfort zone isn't just about taking risks. It's about obedience. It's about trusting that God knows what's best for you, even when you can't see the full picture. The discomfort you feel is actually a sign of growth and preparation. God is expanding your capacity to handle the blessings He has planned for you. If you've been feeling that nudge to take a step in a new direction, even if it feels daunting, this is your sign. God is calling you out of your comfort zone to step into a new season of His favor and provision. So don't hold back. Embrace the discomfort. Take that step of faith and trust that God is with you every step of the way. When you step out of your comfort zone, you open yourself up to the blessings that God has already prepared for you. Keep moving forward, because your breakthrough is waiting just beyond that step. As we wrap up, I want to remind you that the signs we've talked about are not just random moments. They are steps in a journey that God is leading you on, a path toward His blessings, the endurance through trials, the patience in waiting, the humility, the transformation, and the bold steps of faith. Each one is part of God's beautiful plan to prepare you for something far greater than you can imagine. If you're in a season of testing, remember that God is refining you, building your strength and character. If you're waiting, trust that God's timing is always perfect, and your breakthrough is closer than you think. If you feel called to humble yourself, know that God is preparing you for His favor. If you're going through a season of transformation, don't resist it. Embrace the change, knowing that God is making you ready to handle the blessings He's about to pour into your life. And if you feel uncomfortable, stretched, or called to step out of your comfort zone, trust that God is leading you to a place of growth, purpose, and new opportunities. Whatever season you find yourself in right now, take heart. The signs are there. God is working behind the scenes, preparing you and guiding you every step of the way. His blessings are on their way. Keep trusting, keep believing, and keep moving forward in faith. If this message resonated with you and you want more encouragement, inspiration, and reminders of God's endless love, make sure to subscribe to the Endless Love of God YouTube channel. There's so much more to discover, and together we can grow in faith and experience the fullness of God's amazing grace. Stay encouraged, Keep your heart open, and remember that God has incredible things in store for you.